Many times we have probably come across the expression, we're one, but do we really understand it at length? Truth is, today more than ever, we are one. Today, it doesn't really matter whether we are literate or illiterate, believer, agnostic or atheist, famous or unknown, like me. It doesn't matter how much money we have in our bank account, the color of our skin, the language we speak, or the country we live in. Those are external traits. The virus doesn't care about any of that at all. We're all a different expression of the same thing, and therefore, in essence, we're all the same. And this virus has struck to remind us we're all equally exposed to it. It has also appeared to show us there's nothing safe in life, and that we live in the certainty of uncertainty. That our lives can change in the most unpredictable ways at any time, and that we'd better ready for that. We will certainly need the perspective that only time can bring to assess this situation properly, but in the meantime, we can make a big difference. This virus and all the measures that have been implemented have taken us out of our comfort zone and made us treasure the high standards of living we are used to. We Westerners are very privileged people, but we're not always aware of it. We live in the plenty, and yet we think there's always something lacking. And what's worse, we've almost forgotten to look into each other's eyes, smile, and hug each other. We are the only species that mistreats Mother Earth. No one else does. We poison the air we have to breathe, the waters we have to drink, the food we have to eat, the grounds we walk on, and we poison, cram, and torture animals, even those whose meat we will eat somewhere down the line. And we are so ignorant, we don't realize all this suffering we are inflicting will come back to ourselves eventually. Nothing happens by chance, we know that. This critical situation is compelling us to raise awareness about our contribution to the world and the things that really matter. Otherwise, these situations will repeat themselves more frequently and more severely. This is a very serious wake-up call. But what the world needs now is neither a new technological, political, industrial, or economic revolution, nor a new philosophical movement. What's required now is much simpler than that. What the world needs now is that we open our hearts. Yes, we need to open our hearts once and for all. That's the type of shift the world requires now from us. And that has always been the message of all the great masters. Masters such as Buddha, Jesus, or Gandhi. Now we're all secluded in our homes. This is a time for self-examination, insight, and meditation. This is a time to reflect on the kind of future we want to build for ourselves and for our children. Do we want to keep on living in our egos and therefore separated from each other? Or do we want to live from our true self in love and gratitude, sharing the best of us with one another? This is the question that arises now, in my opinion. We shouldn't allow fear to get the better of us. Fear of being infected, of coming down with an illness, or even dying. All the fear that is out there is the greatest disservice we can do to ourselves and to our community at the moment. These only serve the purpose of adding more drama to the drama. And if we go on like that, fear will also turn into a pandemic. We should stop for a second, slow down, and realize there is a great difference between being informed, following the news, or listening to them all day long, which is going to make us feel in despair. Viruses, bacteria, microbes in general are necessary for life. They play a systemic role and we have to live with them. Only when balance is broken, problems appear. A virus is never the ultimate cause of an illness. If that were true, we would all come down with an illness when in contact with it. And we know that's not the case. Therefore, we have to look within us to find the very reason of an illness. That's sheer common sense. So, instead of being worried about the virus, we'd better take care of our health instead. An excess of fear grips us, holds us. It anticipates the worst case scenario and puts our bodies into the alarm mode. We know thoughts, feelings, and emotions are of paramount importance for our health. Our physical bodies are exposed to the vibrational field and therefore are absorbing the energy generated through them. When we feel fear, all that low frequency energy, all that dense energy that fear generates is absorbed by the cells of our bodies and in particular by the ones of our immune system, suppressing it in such a way that it renders us more prone to sickness, which is what we want to avoid now. But there is some good news. There is a medicine able to cancel fear out instantly, and we have the power to make it, since we possess the most powerful, cutting-edge, state-of-the-art technology available, our own inner technology. The same way we unconsciously generate fear, we can consciously also generate love within us. Love is the greatest energy in this universe. This is something science hasn't grasped yet. True love can heal anything. No negativity can sustain in the presence of love because its vibrational frequency is so high, it dissolves any type of negativity. So, this is my contribution to this crisis. This is what's important now. I want to encourage all the brothers and sisters around the world to join me, to join us, and feel love for 10 minutes every day. That's all. 10 minutes every day. Can you imagine what it will be like to feel love all together? I am convinced the downside of this virus would fade away quickly, or quicker than expected. Moreover, I am convinced many other issues would get solved, since the energy of true love has no match. Did you ever think of changing the world? Now we have the opportunity to do it together, changing from within. This isn't a time to complain, judge, or criticize anything, nor to ask for a like. This is a time to take action, to take responsibility, so that this crisis works out before long, and with the least amount of casualties along the way. That is the transformational power of the energy of love. Open your heart and join me. Join us. We're all in this together, and we'll all come through together. If you have any difficulty feeling love, or if you're not used to meditating, that's not a problem. All you have to do is find a quiet place, stay in silence, and think about someone you really love. It can be your father, mother, brother, sister, son, daughter, wife, husband, fiancé, a friend, or it can even be your pet. The only important thing is to feel love inside you. And now, this is the best part. Guess who are we going to send it to? Yes, you're right. We're going to send it to the coronavirus, so that its low vibrational frequency resonates with the high vibrational frequency of the love we will be generating. This isn't any magic, although it may seem. This is pure physics, pure science. Now, let me phrase that again. There is no negative energy that can coexist with a huge vibrational energy and frequency of true love. And if you really don't get this, again, that's not important either. What's important now is that you have the will to join us. This isn't a time for the mind. This is a time for the heart. Now, I'm going to sit down and feel love and send it to the virus each day for 10 minutes at 2:00 p.m. London time. I repeat, 2:00 p.m. London time, so that we can allow the largest amount of brothers and sisters around the world to come together. So please, I beg you to join us. check your time zone and match your local time to the 2 p.m. London time. This is essential. Of course, we can also meditate during the rest of the day. The more energy we create, we bring in, the better. But at least let's commit to do it together for 10 minutes, just 10 minutes every day at the exact time I mentioned before. This is our time. All together, we can make this possible. Open your heart and let's turn this into a love pandemic. Thank you.